15 for the week of May 14th, 2012. This week we recap a bit on the Geekbox Achievement Contest, talk about our Nintendo wishes, Microsoft dreams, and our thoughts on the upcoming E3, and discuss this week's Moviebox pick, Pearl Jam 20. Hello and welcome to All Talk, the Geekbox Farms community podcast. This is episode 14 and
15.
I'm crap.
No, just keep
Did
going.
I say my name?
Yeah. Just keep going. Roll with it, man.
Who else is here today?
BobLoblaw.
Darfox 8.
Mr. X.
And Totoro, the correct.
I was about to say my name again.
Spirit, or Forest Spirit.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
okay.
Totoro. I was about to say my name again and I was like, wait, did I say my name already?
No, you messed up the number, not the
Yeah,
name.
you didn't say your name at all yet. Nobody knows who you are because you said the number wrong. You said 14 instead of 15. It's okay.
This is a mess.
No, I
You'll
think this
just
is
be
funny.
you're anonymous. No one will
This
guess
is
who you are.
episode 15. I am Dakazu from the forums. I
Mystery
apologize.
solved.
I
thought you were
had a
canceled.
long week at work and I'm tired.
I
Will
thought it
our
was
mystery
Rodney.
host.
I thought our host was Rodney. I could have sworn.
Yes, Bob, Darfox 8, welcome.
Thank you.
Hi. Hello.
You know, before we start recording, I learned that Bob won that achievement contest that they had on the Geekbox.
Yeah, he did. The one that I ran.
Mr. X ran it.
How exactly did it work? You guys put like a time period in which you had to make the most achievement points?
Yeah, it was a month.
You
Okay.
sent in what your achievement points were at the time at the beginning of the contest, and then at the end of the month, whoever made the most from that time.
Gotcha. So it
Did
didn't
someone-
help.
Lie?
Wait, what did you say, Totoro?
Couldn't you just lie? It's like, well, I had 1,000, now
No,
I
you
have
can-
1.5 million.
You
was about
posted
to
your gamer card, which shows your gamer score.
Okay.
And
then,
someone double checked.
Yeah, I
Next
had a spreadsheet, and there was like 1 million people in it because 1 million people signed up on the forums for it, and because they kept pimping it on the podcast, it was pretty good.
And that's what earned you your yellow name on the message board.
That and the
You
TF2
banana
server.
rider.
And then there was another contest that we ran too,
Oh,
Right.
what was that one?
an achievement contest for Red Dead.
Oh,
Whoever could finish the game with the fewest achievements possible. I
Oh.
think Kevin may have won that one.
Yeah, that was when we were active.
It was Bob,
Wait.
but you won the achievement contest all sneakily.
Yeah, what was
I
the
was pretty
prize?
sneaky.
Sneakily
was-
is a word, right?
It is now. It was a lot of, people just donated games. Liquid gave a copy of Winning, or some soccer game that you signed, so that
Winning
they added a
11?
lot of value.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it started with me donating, saying I would pitch in this copy of Dukes of Hazzard on the PS1.
Wow.
And other people started donating all these just really awful prizes. But then
Big
some people
spender.
started donating these really cool things. Like someone had donated their album that their band made.
Was it an actual vinyl LP or?
No, it was just for the download for it, I think.
Because a vinyl LP would be much cooler.
And then other people donated all these Steam games, like Torchlight, I think was one of them. And at the end, there was 50 prizes or something. So then we had to just say, okay, Bob, you won. You get to choose 5 things. And then the second place person got to choose some. And it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it went round robin. It actually just sort of fizzled at the end, but it was fun. Actually, it started out being fun, and then it became a chore, and then it was fun again.
Well, why don't you tell them how you were all sneaky?
Oh, I lurked. I sort of scoped out which games were easy achievements. So Avatar.
Right.
King Kong.
I didn't play King Kong, but I had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had I would say 4,000 points banked on easy games. Then when I tried to just stay competitive, but I wasn't in the lead till the very end. So there's always 2 or 3 people ahead of me. And then the night before the contest ended, I unplugged my Xbox and did all the achievements because I was afraid that if someone saw me jumping all of a sudden, that they would also get competitive.
Mm.
And then I plugged in right at the end. And then,
What, you mean you unplugged it from the internet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so his gamer card wouldn't update until he plugged it back in.
And then X, of course, extended the contest by a day. So I was stuck at work watching, I think one of the Eurogamers slowly climbed closer and closer, but I still won in the end.
Yes, you did. And
Awesome.
you chose the Dukes of Hazzard game.
Yeah, the one that started it all.
How did you like that game? Did you finish it? Did you play it more than 5 seconds?
I played it long enough to get a screenshot to show that I started it.
I believe the screenshot was of the menu,
Yes.
so you never actually played it.
Well, I didn't have a save. I didn't have at that point. I think I only had a PS2. I didn't have a
okay.
PS1 card to save on, which apparently it didn't like.
Well,
Excuses.
you could have played it and just not saved and finish it
That's true.
like a real man.
Leave the PS2 on all night long, just like you used to leave the NES on.
And
I
then
never
you come
did that.
home, and then you come
Never
home
did
from
that.
work and your house is burned down.
Well,
You guys really did that?
Yeah,
I did
mean,
that with Nintendo.
But
Well, you
also
were only-
remember,
You were only allowed
My
to play once a
game-
month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
exactly.
played once. No, I remember doing that with like Mega Man because once you turned
Well,
it
Mega
off,
Man
you had
gave
to start
you-
back over.
Mega Man gave you codes, didn't it?
not Mega
But it
Man 1.
wouldn't.
No, yeah, it was Mega
Yeah,
Man.
not Mega
1.
Man 1.
Was it
Also,
which
did it
one
save your
introduced-
1-ups?
I did
Which
it
one
with
introduced the codes?
2.
Okay.
Was it?
Yeah,
Rygar. I don't know if anyone played with that, but that was
I remember Rygar.
I think I did it with Super Mario Brothers.
But that was the one where you like threw the shield out.
yes.
The disc armor or something like that.
It was a shield.
Scammer. I like the PS2 update version. I actually really like that game.
It was okay.
I remember
God of War completely ripped it off.
one of those old NES games that I really enjoyed playing was Karnov. Did you ever play that?
I think it's one of those games I ran once and didn't get that far into it.
You mean
I-
the fat guy that shot fire?
Yeah, I don't know what it was about that game, but I loved that. That was like, it was just so neat.
I played Contra.
You know, that fat guy, he had his own fighting game series that was a rip-off of Street Fighter.
Oh,
What
really?
was it called?
Darfox, can you help me out with this?
Was it
Wait, which one?
Fat Guys Fighting? That's the name?
No, it was a really famous thing where they basically just reskinned all these characters and like they were total Street Fighter like characters, just reskinned. The only original character they had was Karnov, and they got sent to court by Capcom and they lost.
They lost big.
I would hope so.
Probably.
Trying to think of the character. I'm gonna look it up. You guys talk.
It wasn't an SNK game, was it?
It was no. I want to say Tecmo, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not ringing any bell.
Fighter's History.
Fighters History?
Data
That
East.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, Fighter's History from Data East.
Well, is that
Never
the company
played it.
that did all the bootleg games?
I don't know.
Did it
Data
East-
East did Double Dragon. That's what I remember them from.
No, you're thinking of, you're talking about like, you're thinking of Tengen.
Tengen, yeah. Sorry, Data East. I didn't mean to.
Sounds like you said
disparage you.
Tekken.
No, Tengen.
I remember I was in pub trivia one night and they were talking about, the question was, what color was the cartridge for The Legend of Zelda? And the answer was obviously gold.
Yes,
But
gold.
then when they were talking about it, doing a little bit of follow up, they were like, it was the only game that had a different color cartridge. I was thinking, no, Zelda 2 had, a gold one as well. And then, the Tengen cartridges were black.
All the
And-
Bible games.
Yeah, those were
Yeah.
translucent, right?
No, there were.
I had a black
blue.
one. I had a black Bible game.
You should have thrown your beer bottle at the guy running the quiz.
And do you guys know
Actually-
what color the Doom cartridge was on SNES?
Was
Red.
that red?
I
Or was
believe
it
so, or
orange?
black. It was red or black.
I think black that one was Killer Instinct. I think Killer Instinct was black.
That sounds right. And I think Maximum Carnage was also red.
And DK was yellow.
This is riveting.
Yeah.
Should we
I'm
move
sure.
on to talking about E3 because that's coming up?
Our E3 hopes and dreams.
My Nintendo dreams.
Do you have
I-
specific E3 hopes and dreams, X? These things that you want out of this year's E E3?
Well, I want to see more BioShock. Now that
I
that's
think-
been delayed
I
forever.
think they said it wasn't going to be there.
Did they delay it?
Yeah, it's next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
February. I
Oh,
think.
I think I did see that.
I guess
That
it's
was
because
surprising.
they wanted to get it out of the way of GTA 5 so that 2K wouldn't be competing with 2K. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, just plenty of games this year. Resident Evil 6 comes out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Well, but I think that I think BioShock may compete more directly with RE6 as opposed to GTA 5.
Yeah, but it's because they're both from 2K.
Yeah.
That's why they wanted to have one
Yeah.
game out.
Well, yeah, no, it would split their
Cannibalize yourselves.
yeah. Whereas,
Exactly.
if they were putting out, NBA 2K13 or whatever, they wouldn't care.
Sports.
Sports.
Sports can be neat too.
Those like the NBA 2K games and like I think well no they don't have an NFL game because Madden locked that up, but I've read where like the NBA 2K games are actually like way better than the EA Sports games as far
Well, I
as
think
the
that's
basketball
been
games.
that way for years.
Well, and they're cheaper as well. I think they come out and they're like $40 or something.
You know, speaking of E3 hopes and dreams and sports games, I would like to see a new Brutal Sports Football announced, but it'll never happen.
Aren't they still well in kind of in the theme of sports? Had they ever shown any more about the new SSX?
The one that came out a few months ago?
Was it? Oh shit, never mind. This shows kind of how much I pay attention to some of this stuff.
That's
Don't
a party.
think-
That's like a podcast party file.
It would be weird if they had the game that came out months ago and sold like 4 copies there.
Well, that's maybe I don't remember hearing that much about it. So
Yeah, it's out. But are you guys familiar with Brutal Sports Football?
no.
Are you talking about like
No.
NFL Blitz type games or NFL
No, I
The
mean
League?
specifically Brutal Sports Football. That's the name
It's
of
a
the game.
series. I've never heard of it.
I had it on the Jaguar. It was ridiculous. And
Can
great.
we move on? Because I'm gonna ignore that X. You just
Brought up a
something Jaguar game.
It was
Seriously.
not exclusive to Jaguar. That's what I had it on.
I
But
Okay.
in it, you played as like Vikings and goats and like raptors, and there would be swords and bombs and stuff on the field.
It sounds like it's related to Mutant League football.
And
I
you
did
could
like
knock
that.
and you can knock people's heads off and then throw the heads at people.
That sounds like Mutant League.
It was great. I never played Mutant League, but Brutal Sports Football was great, and I'd like to see a new one.
What I really want is another Alien versus Predator game.
No, you don't. What?
Well, I'm just trying to channel you a little bit there.
But what? No. Huh? What? One of those came out like 2 years ago and was awful.
Wasn't it
That
last
wasn't
year?
a very good X impression, Totoro. You got to make
I
a
know.
bad joke and go with it.
And
See, it's funny because one came out a couple years ago, and that's funny because Totoro just talked about one where the game already came out, and he
This
was
is
wondering
great.
about if it was coming out. So that's
Except-
funny because we're making fun of Totoro, and it's funny because
but you
sometimes
didn't make a joke.
Totoro says stupid shit, and see that kind of hit on all levels. See, that's funny because it hit on all levels because he was making fun of X, but he was also being self-deprecating.
You're pretty good at impressions at people from the message boards. You do Konanda very well as well.
No, well, we're not going to get into that.
I think we should get into
of course
that.
not. No, I wanted to mention that I just read online that Bioshock Infinite isn't going to be an E3. It says Levine also confirmed that Bioshock Infinite will be asking for E3 next month. Are you sad, Panda?
It's okay.
I'm sad.
I'm sure it'll be good. I just wanted to see more.
I'm surprised you guys want to see stuff. At this point, I know I'm going to play it, and I'm
Well,
probably
they
going to
haven't-
like
I
it a
agree.
lot.
They haven't shown anything though.
Well, I
They're
don't
just
really want
starting for the
to know
best.
anything, right? I don't want to be spoiled. It's kind of like I'm going into, no media mode because I just want to experience the game when it comes out.
You know what I really want to see? Valve's big picture mode for Steam.
What?
Oh,
I've
yeah,
not
that'd be
heard of
cool.
that. What is that?
It's their interface for Steam for people on TV that play games on
Oh.
TV.
Yeah, my brother does that, but I've never seen Steam.
Is that
on the
for
TV.
people who hook up their computers to the TV?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's really hard to read the messages and stuff you get because the text is so small on that big screen.
Yeah, people say that playing the games itself, they rarely have a problem playing on TV, but just booting the game, it's hard to boot the game from the menu.
That's
Yeah.
kind of specific, don't you think? I'm surprised
Well,
they're
I think
putting
they
that
talked
much
about it, though.
resource into making a mode for this because it seems like not a lot of people would be, utilizing this.
I think more people do that than you think.
Yeah, more and more the hardcore are doing that.
I think
Yeah,
that's
kinda.
a place they want to be. Is as an entertainment avenue on your that's where the Xbox wants to go, and I'm pretty sure that's where Steam wants to be.
Yeah, and I mean Steam is free and it has. I think in my opinion is way better than Xbox Live and PSN.
Yeah,
Oh,
if they want to
yeah.
make me jizz my pants, then they'll actually go all the way with the PSN integration, and you could launch a Steam app I doubt that'll happen, but this Steam TV thing might be a first step towards something like that in the future.
And they have officially announced it. They said that it's coming soon.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about it, but yeah, that'd kind of be cool. Are we looking forward to anything else from Valve? I mean, surely eventually they have to learn to count to 3.
Well, they said they're not going to be announcing anything new. They said anything that isn't already known about. They're not talking about.
The next thing
But
for
they said specifically no Half-Life 3, but they didn't say no Episode 3. So people, are grasping at straws.
Well, Portal 3 would be nice.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No,
Left
come
4
on.
Dead.
That's way too soon.
So they're
Is
going to downgrade to Left 4 Dead
Well,
with only
yeah.
3-player co-op instead of 4? That'd be dumb. I am not on board.
What about
You see,
announcements on
it's funny
Dota 2?
because-
Yeah, I was about to say, they must be focusing on Dota and also on Counter-Strike.
Yep, I think
Yeah.
that's what's going to be there.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I mean, Dota is already huge. It's like the second most played game on Steam right now.
Behind TF2.
Yep, and it's still in beta.
And
It's
I
not
still
even
don't
open
want to
beta.
play it. I know
think it's
you
okay.
want. I know you want me to play it, X, so we can talk about it on the podcast. I really don't want to play it.
I think it's okay. It's a lot like
You are playing it
Super
already.
Monday Night Combat.
Yeah.
But I like Super Monday Night Combat a lot.
I think you should give it another shot. You shouldn't judge a game based on... You hate losing, right?
I like to win.
And didn't we lose the one game we played in Dota?
Yes, we played... No, we won that game.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we did.
I know someone called me a goat.
Yeah, that's
Compare
right. It
your
was
reflexes
great.
to that of a goat.
No, it just Dota. It seems really complex with like knowing when to back off, and doing all that stuff. And I don't know if Dota has like a training mode where you can learn the characters.
I think it might, or it's going to, and there's also going to have like a coaching thing so that you can, if you know how to play and you're good, you can teach other people how to play.
It's just
I know
it's just,
TF2 has the coaching thing.
it's just a time investment. There was a bit of a learning curve with Super Monday Night Combat, and now you and I play that a lot, and we're still playing, and we kind of understand how to play that game. But to get to that point, there was that learning curve, right? I just don't feel like going through the learning curve with Dota.
And I would say it's a steeper, like a higher learning curve for
Yeah,
Dota
Super
because
Monday
there's build order, but then there's also the items that you have to buy in the shop, and then all of that.
It's simplified with Super Monday Night Combat. What? Are you bored?
No.
You bored?
No.
You could
It
talk more
just
about
sounds
E3.
really it sounds extremely it sounds really complicated, and it makes me tired.
It's top down, like some games you like Torchlight.
Wait, Torchlight? Okay, I'm back in.
Okay, it's exactly like Torchlight. It's basically a clone. They should be sued by Torchlight.
It's like every top-down game ever.
It's
Did
basically
anyone-
Bastion.
Has anyone played League of Legends?
I played
Yeah.
one game of it and had no idea what I was doing.
Were you called a goat?
I don't think I was called a goat. I don't think I was called anything. They were like, "Who are you? Leave."
The only interaction I had was someone told me quit feeding, and at that point in time, I had no clue what it meant.
I
Really?
guess they thought you were hungry and you were eating while playing.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
as you
it was
began? Because I played a little bit, and everyone was pretty new, so we were all just sort of figuring it out at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I was kind of just, hanging out, doing my thing, and just trying to figure it out. I think I was a little bit late to the proverbial party. Just was doing it like every now and again, and it was like a month or two after it started up.
Right, so I was probably a year late, and then, like I said, all the good people had ranked up, and so everyone I was matched with was just as close as I was.
So, Dakazu, is there anything you're looking forward to at E3? Or hope that they show?
I can
some
tell
more...
you what I don't care about, which is
Wii U
Halo
is
4. I'm sure
not
they're
Wii
going to
U?
announce it.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm interested.
Really?
I liked Halo 1 a lot, and this one is the first Halo not made by Bungie. I want to see what it is.
I think they're going to copy a lot of what Bungie does.
I mean, I'm already a little disappointed that I know that the Earth is in it and the Covenant. I was hoping that it was just going to be Master Chief Adventures off in some strange alien world 100 years in the future or something. That's not what it is. Also, it would have been pretty cool if it was called Master Chief Adventures.
What, like Aragorn's quest?
Yes. Exactly like that. or Yoda's Desktop Adventures.
So, is there anything? Because I haven't read too much about it. Is there anything that seems really weird for Halo, or is it just really down the line? This is Halo. This is Halo. This is Halo.
They haven't really said anything about it. They're keeping everything secret. They just said that the Covenant is going to be in it, but the Covenant won't be the major threat, and that there's going to be a human ship that's going to find Master Chief. That's all that is known.
Don't you think that's kind of lame? Like, I
Yeah,
agree that with X when he said, like, it should be, Master Chief Adventures. We pretty much wrapped up on, like, the Covenant and Earth and all that stuff.
Exactly. That's done. They should move on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I personally never found the story that interesting in Halo. But if they leave everything behind and just do something else completely new with Master Chief, which is kind of like a cool, badass kind of guy, I could be into it. But since they're not doing that,
Well,
I'm not
actually,
so interested.
I think Halo actually has a pretty good story. It's just you have to read the books and everything.
Right, but in the game, it's like move from one point to another.
So I heard, as far as the Halo books go, like only the first one was worth reading, like The Fall of Reach.
Fall
like
of
that
Reach is
book.
good. Yeah, that's good. And then there's the one that's basically a novelization of the first game. You can skip that one. And then the third one, I think, is pretty good also. Where, spoilers, it turned out all the Spartans on Reach did not die.
Sounds like retcon to me.
But
Is it
then
like
they all
Saiyans?
died.
The Saiyans all die, except they keep on coming out with new Saiyans.
No, they...
Yeah, it's like Tupac and albums. I mean, that motherfucker is dead, but every 6 months it's like, hey, guess what we found?
That's
Well,
because he's not dead.
the Spartan 2s were holograms at Coachella this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of, like, Halo, I wonder what Bungie's up to. Do you think they'll make an announcement?
They've been making a game for a while. They better make an announcement soon.
Supposedly it's like an MMO type game. Or am I
That'd be
crazy?
cool.
That's what we need, is another MMO.
It sounds like it's an MMO shooter.
So the weird thing is that there was
Of
like
course.
a rumor that came out that was gonna be like MMO shooter, but then later, Luke Smith and a bunch of other people kind of shot that down and kind of insulted the people talking about the rumor. But then later, they actually confirmed it or something. Some weird like back and forth happened with that rumor. But so far, I honestly don't know what it is.
I think it's
just
a
think it's
game
MMO.
where you ride around on dragons that look like dogs.
What?
For a second there, I was gonna say
Oh.
Panzer Dragoon, but
No, it looks like dogs. White, fluffy dogs that are dragons.
Never-ending story.
And you play as Bastion.
well, and you started talking about flying dogs there for a second. It made me think of The Last Guardian as well, and that's like a broken dream.
Yeah,
think that's ever gonna come out?
right?
That's a Steve Jobs once called Blu-ray a big bag of hurt, and I'm starting to feel that way about The Last Guardian.
The Japanese Duke Nukem Forever. I think I'm on record calling it that in the past. I stand by it.
How many years has it been? Has it been 10 yet?
No,
It was first announced, I think, in 2007 or 2008.
so yeah, we're at 4 or 5 years now.
It still has
Halfway
a
there.
while to go. I don't think anyone's going to dethrone the Duke.
Well, Japanese Duke. Because it's
Japanese
from
Duke will
Japan.
never be as good as American Duke.
Well, the guy left, right? The director left Sony.
But he was supposed to stay on board to finish the project.
He's like on contracting or something.
Yeah, until it's done.
Funny you use that word. That phrase. Until it's done.
Well, until it's done, yeah.
Speaking
It's
of Last
done when it's
Guardian,
done.
do you guys like Shadow of the Colossus or Ico better?
I only played a little of both.
Yeah, I played
It's
about an hour
hard
of
for
both.
me.
I did a little bit of both, but I liked the little bit I played. I liked the Shadow of the Colossus better.
I beat
Yeah,
them
I
both.
think I would agree.
I kind of liked Eco better.
You like escort missions?
Yeah, baby. Go ahead. Come on, eh? Or whatever she says, or whatever Eco says to her. Yeah, yeah.
Papa? She goes like that.
Yeah, exactly. You see, Darflex knows.
And
what I'm talking about.
then sometimes he goes, her, when he calls her.
Yeah.
My favorite thing of those two games is I think Shadow Cross is my preferred, but my favorite thing of those two games is actually in Eagle. When you save, you sit down like in a couch, like on a love seat. and
Yeah.
they play like this really cool song. Do you know what I'm talking about, Dakazu?
Yeah.
The song is really like I leave it at the same menu for a long time because the song was like great. It was great.
I
That
like
just reminds
Ico a
me that I
little
need to
better.
get that.
Was the song as good as the Bastion song?
I still haven't played Bastion.
Dakazu, you played Bastion?
I'm off the top of my head. It's hard to say. I'm probably gonna go with Bastion because that Bastion song is so good.
It is great.
play Bastion.
Well, it's on PC, right? Good enough Steam.
Yep. It's like $1 or something.
Yeah, I bet.
You know, it'd be pretty cool if it was announced at E3. Dungeon Defenders 2.
That game just came out.
Came out like a year ago.
Yeah.
They're still releasing content, but I don't know if they're going to
Yeah,
do
I
a new
gotta
game.
say no.
That's going to be like the TF2 version of an RTS.
It's not really an RTS.
Or not. I'm not an RTS, like a tower defense.
Kind of tower defense, yeah.
It's more tower defense than anything else. But I mean, they're just going to keep cranking out content for that, and
I'd like to see their next game because I like Dungeon Defenders a lot, and I'd like to see what else they have up their sleeve.
sure.
Hopefully,
I have a question
it's
for you
another
guys.
persistent co-op game like that.
Shoot, Dorfox.
Are you guys at work during E3 hours, the early hours of like the press conferences?
Yep.
I think I'm actually going to take some time off. I'm going to take one day off
For E3,
for E3.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have
Well-
this thing called an iPhone. I can look up anything at any time.
Well, my thing is that, well, personally for me, I've not had any real meaningful time off where I can actually rest and just chill for a number of months at this point. But I mean, yeah, I did come out of unemployment, but I was super stressed out, and I've been wanting a day off really bad.
So
As
you wouldn't
far as-
call it fun employment?
No, it was not fun. Well, yeah, by the time I actually got a job, it was like, oh, gotta move. So it was doing that. But I think I'm going to take one of those days off. I'm gonna like sit and look and see like what day, like, because usually there's one day where like two of the big ones have the.
It's usually, I think Microsoft opens it up the first day,
Right.
and then Nintendo and Sony the
And
next.
Sony have us, yeah. So I'll probably wind up taking off like the Nintendo Sony day.
Makes sense.
I think you should take off the 15th.
Well, that's tempting.
If I was going to take off a day, it would be the day Prometheus comes out.
That would be tempting as well.
Right. The reason why I asked because I recall when was it last year before two years ago? Whatever, it was the year that had the really embarrassing Konami press conference. It was 2 years ago now. I remember.
That's every year.
The one with
What are you talking
their,
about? That's
no,
every year.
rhythm band game.
Extreme. Which one?
Are you talking? Is that the same one where they had their rock
Transferring.
band game that was a complete disaster?
No. That was more years ago. I'm talking about the one that I think the name is I forget his name, but some Japanese guy came on screen. He was like extreme, and he started saying things like that. I watched it live, and we talked about it like we almost live blogged it on the message board with Kenzo and some other people. And then when I think back to it, I said, if that would happen now, we'd be on the Mumble server talking about it live. So that's why I asked
Yeah.
you guys, because we could be on the Mumble server talking about the press conference as it happened, which would be kind of cool.
Well, I think
Well,
the
or we
Konami
could,
one happens later in the day, not early.
So we could still make fun of it. That's going to be great.
Well, we could all record it and then play it back at the same time.
Sounds
Yeah,
like a
we
lot
could
of
do
work.
that too.
That's
Yeah, also the
barely
press
any
conference.
work.
I don't know. We'd have to count down from like 5 and then hit play. That's a ton of work.
I'm with Mr. X. That sounds like a lot of work.
Pushing a
saying.
button
Yeah,
and counting? Come on.
in sequence.
Next, you're gonna want me to tie my shoes while counting and pushing a
Use
button.
strap-ons or something. Velcro shoes.
So
on.
anyway, are you guys expecting anything out of Microsoft? Like
Well,
I am. I'm expecting they announce a new Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting them to do that. They
Haven't
said they're
they
not doing that.
said they're not doing that repeatedly?
Yes, repeatedly.
Yeah,
They said
they may have.
I guess they told Pactor that they're going to be doing mostly media stuff, like
Yeah.
more Netflix and Hulu and all that kind of stuff. They're going to be focusing on that instead of games.
Well, then they're gonna miss the audience.
They're completely missing the point. of E3.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, all that technology stuff is kind of cool and fine, but the way they present is always kind of shitty, fake performers that are like, wow, look at these great features. I never seen anything like this, you know? They're like, if you recall when they demo like the Connect chat, like they were talking about how like, oh, let's watch a trailer, and then they pull up the trailer for Avatar: The Last Airbender, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like, I know that. That's Avatar. Hey, isn't that the game where you cheat to get large achievement points or something like that? It was just really shitty. Like, I hate when they demo that shit.
But what did you think of what's his face saying, "Want to see the bottom of an Avatar shoe"? bam.
Bam!
Bam, yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I laughed so hard.
How much does a new Xbox cost right now?
Well, I think there's more than one model, and there's more than one bundle.
Connect. No Kinect.
No hard drive?
With no hard drive.
I think it's 200.
I thought they were gonna announce like $100 bundle soon.
Why? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They did. They already announced that.
Oh,
but it's
okay.
Subsidized, where you have to pay $15 a month for 2 years.
Yeah, Xbox Live.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say, is there any possibility that they'll, announce the $100 Xbox? But again, it's really funny because Totoro screwed up and is talking about something that they already announced.
You guys don't read NeoGAF, apparently.
Yeah, other stuff has sort of been covered. Supposedly Sony and Microsoft have both said that we're not showing anything.
Did you guys see the trailer for the Wii U Rayman game?
I think I have seen that. That looks pretty good. See, that's one thing. Not necessarily Rayman, but I am wanting to see more of the Wii U.
Did you see the part of the trailer where they put stuff on the Wii U tablet controller, and then what you put on it comes into the game?
I did not see that, no.
There's a heart. They put a heart on the thing, and then it starts raining hearts in the game for health.
Oh, okay.
And they put a rabbit on there from Raven Rabbids, and then there's all sorts of rabbids all over Rayman. And then it ends with them holding up an Ezio action figure and moving it over to it, and then it ends.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, is that called RF technology or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Not RF.
NFC, near field communication.
That's
maybe.
What it is.
Yeah, I so want to see more out of the Wii U. I want to see what it's gonna do. More. I want to see more of what they're gonna do with the with that controller.
There was a rumor that EA and Valve are competing to be the online service for the Wii U.
Then, dear God, let it be Valve.
That was a rumor that I don't believe at all, because I think Nintendo would handle all that. But if it was Steam,
that's strange.
If it was Steam, that would be amazing.
Well, maybe one thing that I hope they do is that they learn from their mistakes from the current generation and would it fix it. I don't care how they fix it. I don't care if it's Nintendo that fixes it. I don't care if it's if they turn it over to Valve and Valve fixes it, but they need to fix it.
I mean, there's also the rumors of the Valve console computer thing,
right?
Which would be pretty cool.
Well, and they were saying that there was the rumor that Tim Cook from Apple had gone up to Valve.
That could have just been them trying to get more OS X support.
That's true. That's true, but hey, I'm just throwing it out there that it was something. That's what Apple really needs is another Pippin or whatever. But
Pippin.
Something that kind of going back to the Wii U though, something I really want to see though is something like Madden on the Wii U. I want to see if they're going to put the playbook in your hands essentially.
More sports.
And do something like more sports. I'm sorry, but it's just something like that I can see. More practical applications for the controller.
It works so well for the Dreamcast.
True.
Yes.
Yeah, that was...
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying that was something they did with the VMU on the Dreamcast. Specifically with, NFL 2K.
And I think the GameCube did something when they did that synergy with their handhelds, the Game Boy.
Wasn't there a Zelda game? Or, no, there was a Final Fantasy game that required you to play the game with a Game Boy. That was the dumbest thing, of all time.
Well, that and Four Swords Adventures.
And, whatchamacallit, Pac-Man.
Pac-Man was awesome. That game was the best party game ever. It was hard to get that many Game Boys, but when you did, it was a lot of fun.
But why would they require you to use another console to play the console?
Why would they announce a vitality sensor? Nintendo does some boneheaded things sometimes.
They never released that. That never came out.
And they've never...
Thank God.
They have never spoken of it again.
But, these are things in the periphery. The core stuff with the consoles are usually solid, right?
With Nintendo?
Sure.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
since,
Like their
not
online
since
presence. That's solid, right?
I would say
Well, yeah, I
it
guess
has
I
been
should concede that.
solid since the Super Nintendo.
I think that's probably Game Boy. Well, no, Super Nintendo came out after the
I guess
Game Boy.
maybe Game Boy Advance and DS, perhaps.
Well, yeah, you have to
Their
give it to the
handhelds are
DS.
okay.
Well, and they did say that, like, as far as the controller, theoretically, in quotes, could be replaced by, a 3DS or something. So that might be interesting as well.
I don't know, man.
I
I
think they
don't
need
think
to
that would
clear
be
up.
interesting at all.
I think we need to clear up the issue with how many of the tablet controllers can be hooked up. Last thing I heard was that they could only be hooked up one at a time, and the other controllers are just Wiimotes.
Yep, that's how it was in the Rayman trailer.
So,
Yeah.
so for Totoro's example of the choosing the plays on the tablet, you would have to choose your play and then pass it to your couch friend, and he choose his, and we pass you back the cartridge and you keep on playing. I mean, I think it's kind of, in my opinion, as a product that I want, it's kind of critical for them to get at least 2 tablet controllers at the same time.
It'd be pretty cool.
Ideally 4, but just 2.
It'd be pretty cool if Valve released some sort of software that allowed you to do that type of tablet stuff on like the iPad or just any Android tablet while you're playing a game, so you could have like a second display for doing things like that.
Sure. Well, maybe that's what part of the initial mobile stuff is.
Could be.
I mean, that's just dipping their toe in the pool.
See, I'm just not excited about the Wii U well, this is my problem, right? The problem that we had when the Wii came out was people were really excited about the motion controls, but then people were trying to make games for them, and then they realized the limitations of the technology. Like, it really couldn't do a lot of things, and then they had to put out the plus ad thing. And I think there's the same problem with the Kinect. People are really excited for the Kinect, right? It's a cool technology, but the one that they actually commercially put out, it's limited by a lot of problems, and that causes people not to be able to effectively use it and make games for it. I just feel like the technology isn't there yet.
Well, I feel like that is true to a degree, and I think Microsoft really hamstrung themselves by trying to get down to that $100 price point with the Kinect, because originally it was going to have its own processor unit, driving all of the calculations and shit.
Yeah, I've seen the original specs for like the first version of the Kinect, and it looks like it was really cool. Like, it could actually read your finger movements, and it was really good.
On PC, there has been some pretty cool stuff done with the Kinect.
Well, it's got more just general
Power,
processing power.
yeah.
But that's
where the rub.
You've played Wii games and you've played Kinect games. You guys know, right? Like, there's
Wii
serious limitations.
I actively despise the Wii.
I have never played a Wii Motion Plus game. I don't think I've turned my Wii on in over a year.
I haven't turned mine on in like 3 or 4.
See, personally, I wanted to buy a Wii eventually, just to play the handful of games that are on there that are exclusive, like the Mario Galaxy and stuff like that. But now I'm conflicted if I should buy the Wii because that has backwards compatibility for the GameCube, or I should just wait for the Wii U that has backwards compatibility for the Wii. I'm in that dilemma because I'm not interested at all in any of the new things the Wii U is doing.
They announced that, at least I'm pretty sure they announced that backwards compatibility for the GameCube is going away with the Wii U.
Yeah, exactly. So there are some games for I had a GameCube, so there's some games I want to check out for the GameCube as well. Maybe eBay some games.
Like what?
I have to talk about the Mario games again, like Mario Sunshine. I know that they're not the best, but
But you don't want to play Geist?
It was fun.
I think you're fine without playing that. Oh God, Geist.
Geist.
Kind of want to play the Killer 7 on GameCube because I heard it's better than the PS2 one.
Luigi's Mansion?
Okay, yes.
Pikmin?
It has Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, Eternal
Darkness.
And now Mr. X grins.
I did not grin, I groaned. God.
I have that Zelda disc that came with the Nintendo Power that has like 7 Zeldas on it for the GameCube. That's
Wait,
awesome.
that
was a packing at one point.
Yeah.
That was with Nintendo Power?
Yeah, you had to sign up for Nintendo Power.
I got I got one for pre-ordering Wind Waker that came with Ocarina of Time and Master Quests, I think it's called.
Yeah, that was Wind Waker. Well, it came in a different style case too, or it was 2 cases. I remember when we were when I was working for my mom at the video store, we had that, and we actually rented that out.
Wow, you rented out the pre-order bonus?
Yes.
Now you know how the Totoro family build its millions.
Oh, I wish it was millions.
Trillions?
I wish it was trillions.
More money, more problem.
You would blow your nose with a $100 bill?
They're $100 at least.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Is there
More
anything
$100.
going on with Sony? Because I just don't know.
There's that
What?
game that they just announced.
They're losing
that
lots
looks
and lots of money.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, no kidding.
Did you guys see Sony just announced Smash Brothers for the PlayStation?
Yeah.
I think that can be okay. I'm not expecting it to be great, but
They literally just
Wait,
announced Smash Brothers.
Is it that game? Is it the same one that was that they announced or they talked about and maybe have released since then? But it had like Sly Cooper and Ratchet and.
I think you're thinking
no,
of
that's
a different
Heroes on
game.
the Move.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah,
that's
that's
Heroes
right.
on the Move.
This is literally Smash Brothers. Exactly.
Yeah, 4-player brawling stages.
Where you hit someone with a thing and then they go flying way off the screen. And
That's actually that's inaccurate.
I think it's accurate. I heard it on the Bombcast.
Yeah, no, it was inaccurate because if you look at the video, like most of the levels are closed off. So the exact mechanic of, because in Smash Bros. The way you defeat your enemies, you knock them off the stage. That's the exact mechanic of it. That's not present in this game, but it is the same type of game. It is.
It looks exactly like Smash Brothers,
Yeah. So
but with Kratos and probably
yeah,
Nathan Drake.
Probably. I want to concede that like these Sony characters aren't as good as the Nintendo characters. I admit that, but I think Sony has plenty of like cool characters. I think it's not stupid for them to make this game.
No, they're gonna have to raid like third party to get really cool and go crazy. Because
Yeah, and
Well,
I think
Parappa the
fine.
Rapper-
I think
Parappa the Rapper was shown in it.
yeah, I think it's something that they should be proud of, and they shouldn't be ashamed because like Sony was hugest. Like Sony at this point is obviously super important to video game history because of PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, and they were that mostly because of like the Final Fantasy games and the
Bandicoot?
Castlevania game. You know, yeah, sure, Crash Bandicoot, but like some of the best games, like Metal Gear Solid, came out for the PlayStation platform. So that's something they should be proud of, and I kind of feel weird people making fun of them for that because.
But they don't have any
But they're not
characters.
exclusive. Like Metal Gear Solid is Konami and Final Fantasy is SquareSoft.
But the
And Crash
mindshare,
Bandicoot is, I think, Universal now.
yeah. But like, what I'm trying to express is that I feel that they could try and spin this, and they should try to spin this as like the mindshare of these classic games. These were born on the PlayStation in a sense.
Licensing.
Obviously, Final Fantasy came out before and stuff
So-
like that, but like Final Fantasy 7 and Metal Gear Solid 1, like you associated them with PlayStation, and you associated them with the PlayStation controller.
I mean, they'll have like the Ratchet and Clanks and the Sly Cooper and maybe and maybe Blasto.
Yeah, and those aren't as good as the Nintendo ones, but they're fine.
Did you just say Blasto?
Yeah, Blasto.
That horrible PS1 game starring Phil Hartman.
Yes, the game that almost gave me a seizure. I don't think it was a seizure. I just
never
got
played
super
it, but I
lightheaded while
played Jersey
playing.
Devil.
Well, that's because you shouldn't try autoerotic asphyxiation at the same time you're playing video games.
Says you. But yeah, there's also they could have Bruce Willis from that Apocalypse game on
Yeah.
PS1.
Do they
Pretty
have
cool
that
if they had
one?
the same character model.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You know what company should make like a Smash Brothers type game that could actually pull it off? I think that has enough characters and everything. Capcom.
They sort of do it with Capcom versus Marvel. That's sort of their space for that.
Mm-hmm.
But they have so many IPs.
yeah, they do.
I think
I think they could just do a Mega Man fighting game with every single version of Mega Man. I honestly think they could do that.
They should probably
They
just
have a
bring
Mega
back.
Man fighting game.
They should bring back Power
Mega Man
Stone
Power Battles.
And
Yeah, but
There's-
that's not
Oh,
what I'm
wow.
thinking. Because
That is
it
a
wasn't
good
Mega
idea,
Man
Bob.
versus. Sorry for the crosstalk. It wasn't Mega Man versus Mega Man X.
Bob,
what they
that's the
should
best
do.
idea.
What?
Sorry, repeat it, please.
they should bring back Power Stone, except use all their characters in sort of like a brawl setting.
Hmm.
Yes, that would be the best.
But
During
I
the
like Power
interviews,
Stone.
Yeah, Power Stone
Yeah.
was awesome.
They could have Power Stone, but then have all of their characters in it. Imagine Dante fighting a zombie from Resident Evil. It wouldn't be a one-sided fight at all.
Yeah, I was
know-
about to say.
You can
The
already
horror
do that in
zombies.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
You can play as a zombie in that?
Yeah, you can call zombies.
No, play as a zombie.
Yeah, when the Jill attacks.
Slow-moving zombie.
Yeah, that sounds like
Technically,
fun.
you can play as the guy from the Resident Evil 3. What's that guy's name?
Nemesis.
Yeah.
Well, let's try it.
Stars.
So, do you think they're gonna announce a new Dino Crisis at E3? Maybe.
I doubt it.
We can
I don't
hope.
know why we laughed at you, but it was funny.
We can hold out the hope.
Jesus Christ, X, what in the fuck are you thinking? They're obviously going to announce something. Oh, never mind. I was
Dinosaurs.
going to say Time Crisis, and I was like, no.
That's
Wait, that's the
Namco.
wrong yeah, god damn it.
Namcom.
Are there-
So,
yeah, I was
Dino
about
Crisis is huge, or was huge.
any other games that people are excited about? Like, as far as Sony goes, so that fighting game is the only thing?
no, I'm
Um,
excited for possible Vita stuff. I think they're going to start talking about.
They're gonna focus mostly on the Vita, probably.
Honestly, I have Diablo tunnel vision. Once I heard Bioshock was moved to
Yeah.
next year, I just stopped caring.
What about Borderlands 2?
Yeah, come
What
on.
about Torchlight 2?
Oh, fuck that. Well,
Oh,
don't fuck
come
it.
on.
Big Diablo is. I mean, I
Don't
love
fuck
Torch a
those
lot,
bits.
but Diablo holds the place in my heart.
I think we're all getting that next week, except Darfox.
We
Even
gotta keep me out
I'm
of it.
getting that, even though I still have problems with the skill tree system.
Bob, did you try Diablo when it was open beta?
No, I don't. I don't want to spoil anything, or I don't. I go closed on that.
Oh, so you didn't hear our argument that
Oh,
X and I had?
I heard, but I tuned it out. It's pretty easy. I have a little bit.
You
of
heard our bitter argument about where a lot of our facts were just completely wrong.
Yes.
I find
Welcome
it
to All
very
Talk.
easy to. I find it very easy to tune Dakazu and Mr. X's fighting out as well. So
Because they're
it's just-
fucking stupid.
well, after what is this, 15 episodes now? It's just gonna become second nature at a certain point.
Well, plus,
Your
It's like
second nature.
I admit I'm such a fanboy about Diablo. It doesn't matter. They could do anything, and I'd still buy it and play it. I don't know if I'd love it, but I'd still give it a shot.
I'm interested to hear your thoughts after you try
I
it.
liked it a lot.
I'm very much looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's going to be your first Diablos, though, so I'm interested
Yeah.
to hear Bob's point of view.
I played Path of Exile.
I played Torchlight and I loved it.
We did. Let's get back to E3. Anything else?
Sony has been pretty good about trying to get the gamer mindshare. Like 1 year they got Gabe Newell, the next year they got Kevin Levine. So I think they're trying to do smart choices. So I think the press conference is going to be kind of neat in general. But there's nothing going into it that I'm expecting in particular, except maybe Kojima will show up and talk about Fox Engine. That's like my biggest thing. I want more information about what Kojima's doing. But besides that, we don't know.
You know,
I
I bet Epic is going to be there, and I hope they show off the Unreal Engine 4 because that will be the first glimpse of the next gen stuff that we'll be seeing.
really kind of want to see I want to see whatever new is coming from Naughty Dog.
Oh, The Last of Us?
Yeah, The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might have a playable demo. Who knows? That game
That
should be
was-
long enough.
Yeah, it was rumored to be coming out either late this year or early next, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping to see more, and I'm hoping that maybe when we get closer, once we get past E3 and we get into season for our packs, that maybe they'll have something playable there.
You're just hoping you can get a free
Yeah.
voucher for it.
No, I just want to see it and kind of play it. That's one of those. I think we've talked about it a little bit. It's like, going to PAX. It's like I don't want to spend a lot of time in lines and for something I know I'm gonna probably get. But that's one of those that I would stand in line for just to play a little bit of it.
Well, The Last of Us is probably the reason why Uncharted 3 was disappointing.
Probably, yeah.
There's probably more than one
they
factor.
started splitting their.
Yeah, they
splitting
probably split the team.
Yeah.
I
Well, that's
saw
not to say
that.
that they don't announce another. They could announce another group doing Uncharted 4. That wouldn't
Uncharted 4?
surprise me very much. Yeah, no, that wouldn't surprise me if they said that someone else was going to do that or help out with it.
Bob, you were
I
saying
And that
something?
Naughty Dog was just going to supervise. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't actually saying anything, so.
I saw your mouth
Well,
light up.
I was saying that I think it'd be kind of neat if they Because since Naughty Dog is first party, if they told him make Uncharted 4 for PlayStation 4 launch, I think that'd be.
I don't think they're first party. I think they're second party.
No, they're first party. They got bought up by Sony. They were second party,
Did
but
they?
now they're first.
So they're not going to try to pull in Insomniac and start making
Nope.
third-party multi-platform games.
Nope. And Naughty Dog and Media Molecule, the people who made Little Big Planet, they both got bought up, so they can't do that anymore. Insomniac was the one that got away.
What do you think of the new Insomniac game?
Oh, Overstrike?
Yeah.
I really want to see more about it, because co-op was the best thing about Resistance 2, and it seems like they're making a whole game based around that.
That's pretty cool. Is it 4-player co-op?
Yeah, 4-player, each like a unique character, each with their own like gimmicks. I thought the trailer was pretty cool that it showed like a year ago, or 2 years ago.
Yeah, they didn't show any gameplay, but yeah, that could be cool. Although
This sounds like Borderlands, and now has me intrigued. 4 players with different
Yeah.
abilities.
Well, it's kind of, if I recall correctly, it's kind of a cartoony
Yeah,
style as well.
there's like a
Is there
TF2
loot?
art style.
Yeah, it's an
No
Invincibles?
gameplay was
Incredibles.
No gameplay was shown at all.
Yeah, it was all CG.
Yeah, it's about like this organization of super spies, and within that organization, the organization is called like Overstrike, but within that organization, there's one team called like Team 7 or something, I forget. That are just super crazy and super rogue, and you play as them.
So maybe there's loot.
I think like if we follow Resistance 2's blueprint for their co-op, it's like more like instances. It's not like a big game. You know, it's not like a big world. It's
But
like,
there'd be leveling, right?
Yeah, there's definitely
Probably.
leveling. There's definitely persistence. If we're going off of Resistance 2's co-op, which is the only good thing about that game. There's
Although
persistence.
they could be taking that and then building off of it, adding loot and stuff like that to it to make it
Yeah,
deeper.
actually, we should hopefully expect that, because since it's a whole game based around that, it should be a lot more evolved,
Hey
right?
guys, I'm looking forward to a game in E3. It's called Overstrike.
Awesome.
Cool.
I haven't heard much about that. Please go on.
It's from Insomniac.
You should
It's
type
published
it
by
into the Google machine.
EA, so of course you should boycott it because it's EA.
Right.
I'm making a joke, but it's like Bob. Just have tunnel vision for Borderlands 2, so I wasn't really nothing.
Did you guys what EA with their Rock Band mobile game?
Yeah, but what?
Huh?
Everybody that bought the game, EA
Hmm.
released Rock Band on iPhone and Android, I think.
Oh, yeah. And
So-
they were going to take it away?
They're at the end of the month they're taking it away, and so you're out of the money that you paid for it,
How long has
I
this game
heard
been
they
out?
reversed course on that, though.
and they're still selling it. I don't know how long it's been out, but it's pretty stupid.
Are you
No,
saying
I thought I heard that they reversed course on that they weren't going to take it away. It's just that they weren't going to update it.
Bob,
I think you're saying that EA may not have the consumer's best interests at heart. I find that hard
I'm
to
saying-
believe.
I'm saying EA is the anti-Valve.
Everything's awesome.
I don't know,
Everything is
because
awesome.
their Origin thing, I hear that kicks ass, so I'm having a little trouble believing you.
I heard Origin gives you brain cancer.
I thought it gave AIDS.
Why
Right.
do
So
you,
EA,
do you guys really hate Origin? Because I don't mind it that much.
It's too resource heavy and it's annoying.
I mind that it's another thing that's doing what Steam does, but not as well.
And it's, by that fact, they're not releasing their stuff on Steam.
And
I okay, let me phrase it like this. I understand that EA is a company. The purpose of a company is to make as much money as you possibly can. But I feel, as a consumer, I like having kind of a single place to go to get, the vast majority of my games. And I would prefer to get my EA games from Steam as opposed to having this boondoggle attached to these games called, whatever. It doesn't matter if it was called Origin or Elbow.
there's also the fact
No.
that if you get banned, like on the forums, that bans you
Yeah.
from all your games on Origin as well. So you could possibly
not-
get banned from every game you own for doing nothing.
Nothing? Don't you
Well,
generally
that's
have to do something to get banned?
No, someone got quoted, and then the person quoted him, and then said something else, and then the person that got quoted got banned, or someone said something, and then he got quoted, so then the person who quoted him got banned. I think that's what happened. But he didn't do
either way,
anything.
sounds dumb.
Yes.
Well, and it's, it would be one thing if it was like, okay, you can't go online and play this stuff anymore. But it's like it's even cutting you out from the single player experience as well.
Yep. So in conclusion, EA is stupid.
Wait, so all Origin games, you do have to be connected online to play them?
You have
I believe
to like register them online at least once, I guess.
At least once, but like Steam, you could go offline and play them, right?
I don't know if there's an offline mode for Origin. I know
That'd be
not
bummer.
all. I know not all of the games, EA games, require Origin. So maybe those ones don't.
Well, do you guys want to kind of wrap up this discussion with saying if there was one thing that could potentially be announced at E3, you know, just kind of completely wild, blue sky, what would it be?
What would make a change our pants most?
Well, there was
Yeah.
those leaks that just came out, I think, yesterday of some screens for Beyond Good and Evil 2 that look pretty amazing.
So you
That could actually be a
BGA
possibility
too.
too.
I've been waiting for that, or I've been waiting for them to announce that like the past year or two.
Well, it was announced a while ago.
Yeah, well, it was like I think last year at Ubisoft. They had Michel Ancel coming out on stage, and I was like, oh shit,
But,
there we go.
but I don't know if you guys have seen these new screenshots. It's like in this like desert city type urban environment, and it looks pretty amazing.
They've showed some of that before. There was like this leaked production footage. It was supposed to be like
It's that video, I think.
yeah, like a target video of what it was supposed to be, and had like some parkour crowd mechanic type things. And it did take place in a sort of Middle Eastern like place, kind of.
Yeah, it looks
Is
really
that a way to
cool.
describe it?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. Did you guys play the first one? Did you guys remember the twist ending in the end?
I played some of it. I did not get a chance to finish it.
Okay, but they
I
have a
am the
twist
same.
ending at the end, and I wonder if they're gonna follow up on it or they're just gonna ignore it and do their own reboot kind of thing.
So, are there any other kind of jizz in my pants type things that you'd like to see?
I can. Can I do one?
Go for it.
May I go? May I please?
Go for it. Yeah.
No.
go.
Okay. Sorry. So one is again Kojima. I just want to know more of what he's doing because he's our Lord and Savior. But that's kind of like a realistic one because they already said they're gonna be in E3 and they're gonna show something about the Fox engine. Hopefully, it's his new game. Maybe something about Metal Gear. Who knows? That would just my pants if they somehow announce the reopening of development of Mega Man Legends 3 because the fans got 100,000 likes on their Facebook page, so that means that they must get the game made. So that would just my pants. I doubt it's like there's probably 1% it will probably happen, but yeah, that would make me just my pants.
Dino Crisis.
I don't know. There's nothing that'll make me nut myself, but I would like to see the next generation consoles. I know they said they're not doing it, but I feel everything's getting a little bit long in the tooth now. And the Wii U just isn't doing it for me, so.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Mayhap Dakazu had the jizz pants.
If we're just talking about just wild anything goes, I want another Vagrant story.
I thought for sure you were going to say Borderlands 3.
I was thinking that. But Borderlands 2 is coming out, so I figure I should not mention Borderlands 3 already.
What if they announced the same guy? I forget the name of the guy who did Vagrant Story. He done some other games at Square. What if they announced another
Final
game by
Fantasy
him?
Tactics.
Yeah,
Final
what if they announced
Fantasy
another
12.
evilist game by this guy? Would that do the same effect on your pants?
I really like Vagrant Story. I know it has major problems, but it's one of my favorite games.
It was cool.
So I think that wraps up our game discussion. Sound good, guys?
Wait, one more.
Okay.
I just want to throw out mine. I would completely go apeshit for Mirror's Edge 2.
I was really
Yeah,
hoping you were going to say Dino Crisis.
No.
Did you love
You
the first
really
one
like
that much?
game that much?
Jinx
Bob.
Oh god, I absolutely love that game. I played through. I don't know how many times I played through the demo when it came out, and then like on PS3, and then I played through the game. I think 2 or 3 more times on 360.
You know what the problem with that game
just
was?
to play with it.
Enemies.
When I
Maybe.
played it, the first time I played through it, I did I went for the achievement to where you go through the game without shooting at anyone,
Right?
and that was an interesting experience.
I bet.
But yeah, I think that if there was a singular downfall to that game, it was having to deal with the enemies. Granted, I was going for almost a punishing run when I was playing that, but
I just think that game would have been way better with no enemies. But
Or
who would
very
release
few and far
who would
between.
release a game that with a first-person perspective that has no enemies other than Valve with Portal?
Yep.
Portal 3.
Turrets.
GLaDOS is and turrets.
They're not enemies.
They
I
aren't your
don't hate
friends.
you.
They're totally
Yeah,
enemies.
they don't hate you, so they're not your
they
enemies.
They're not your friends, though.
There are things that are just there in your way. They're obstacles.
They're little
That
kids in
shoot
turret
at
form.
you.
And apologize
Is
afterwards.
Is a gun an enemy, or is a guy holding the gun the enemy?
That's what
Think about
DMX
it.
said in that movie he was in. Romeo Must Die. Remember that? He said, "Guns don't kill people. People kill people." You know.
Sure.
And then did he bark like a dog?
All right, let's talk about our movie box pick, Totoro.
Wait. Can I plug something quickly? Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's right. You want to plug something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
sorry
do it now.
for muscling my way inside, but May 24th and May 28th, there's going to be a speedrun marathon on speeddemosarchive.com. I mentioned this before, but this one's different. It's not the big one they have January. This one they have during the summer. It's a little bit smaller, but they're getting money for I think it's the Autism Research Foundation, and it's slightly smaller, more intimate. But I send you guys like a link, and there you could look at the schedule of games. For example, they have Rygar there.
Wow.
I think we were talking about it, and it even has like a race. If you look at they sort of have a spreadsheet. We could post a link in the message board so people could look at it. They have like a spreadsheet that describes what type of speed run it's going to be. If it's going to be like 100% or any percent. Some of them are races, and the races are like the funnest ones because it shows two speedrunners sitting by side, and it's split screen, and you see like which one's going faster than the other one, and it's like the most exhilarating thing in my opinion. Like the nerdiest thing I get into is like two guys playing games, but I go crazy when I watch it.
You know,
So-
they're doing a speed run of Doom. That could be cool.
Yeah, I see. One that fascinates on me here. The last one is a speedrun of Final Fantasy 6. That's
Yep. You see the
Zelda 1, Zelda 2 back to back.
Someone finished Portal in 30 minutes?
less, I think.
That's
'Cause
crazy.
in Portal, you could actually shoot portals out of boundaries, so you could like skip around on the level. It's some crazy stuff. I'll send you a link later. But one of the columns in that list is the time estimate. Look at the time estimate for Final Fantasy VI. It's 7 hours.
Yeah, 7 hours.
What?
Yeah, that's like insane.
Yeah,
That's
so some of these
crazy.
games, I mean, speed is a relative term, correct?
Yeah. Well, and for something like that, well, and I see that they've got Final Fantasy 8 broken up into two parts here. They've got like one part is 5 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah,
The
the
other
other is
one
6 and
is-
20.
Yeah, so they're talking about what 12 hours total.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
actually, if you guys want to get a general opinion, I'm sorry, I'm gonna send you another link. Because this is a speedrun from the beginning of this year in January, and these runs you could right click them and put save target as, and you could view these speedruns because this has been uploaded and this happened in January already, so you could get a feeling for how they are. And one of them is Mirror's Edge, and it's actually a race. These two guys raced in Mirror's Edge, so Totoro might like that.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I was trying to do like some of the speed challenges and that, and kind of, I got kind of good at it, but not anywhere near good enough.
Right. So that's about it. I just wanted to mention this because these marathons I think are like kind of important events because they're super nerdy and super kind of like normally you think it's somewhat introverted because there's a bunch of nerds who get in a room and just play games for like 5 days on end. But they actually help out in a very important way because they get like thousands of dollars for these research foundations that they're trying to prevent cancer or autism. I think it's an important thing.
I'm sorry, I just laughed because you can't prevent autism, but yeah, okay. I know what you're trying to say.
No, yeah.
They're laughing at autism. I see what
See,
you're
it
doing.
is. Yeah,
God, man.
that hurts.
God, I really want to watch this Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 back to back. And I see that they've got Super Mario 64 on here at 2 hours and 15 minutes for 120 stars.
Yeah,
That is just amazing.
that's 100%.
Yeah.
So that's my interruption. That's my.
This is a worthy interruption.
God, Darfox,
I mean, this is
you have
cool.
to interrupt the podcast to plug this charity?
Yeah.
You're so
Idiot.
shameless.
God, what's wrong with you?
Let's get back to the movie box then. Totoro?
God, Star Tropics and Star Tropics. Anyway, I'm joking. Yeah, so this week's Moviebox pick was Pearl Jam 20, which is a documentary directed by
Cameron Crowe.
Cameron Crowe. Yeah, I nearly said Candace Cameron, and that was going to be really bad. And Uncle Joey was there? No, but it details the kind of the beginnings of the rock band Pearl Jam and kind of the personalities that went into it and kind of the trials and tribulations leading up to the formation of the band, and then kind of how they dealt with things once they did kind of hit it big, and details a little bit about their deal with Ticketmaster, and just yeah, kind of the one thing I really liked about it is that it's filled with really good music. That's not opinion, that's fact, and it's just kind of interesting to see all the different personalities within the band, because kind of from the standpoint of a fan standing back a little bit, generally whenever you see a band publicly, it seems like it's always the lead singer who is profiled the most, and I really felt like this gave a really good shot for some of the other band members, especially like Stone Gossard and Jeff Ament and Mike McCready, to really kind of talk about some of the things that went on, even almost more so than Ed did.
Yeah, they did a good job with that. They didn't even talk about the lead singer until they got to that point in the story.
Yeah, well, and I mean, when they talk about the formation of the band, obviously the death of kind of Andy Wood really was one of the primary drivers in breaking up Mother Love Bone, and I was just kind of really struck at even after all this time, it's still their memories of those moments are still just so vivid, as you would expect them to be, but at the time it's like it wasn't something that I was really that aware of, and so it was really an interesting perspective for me to see, to hear them talk about it, and to really see that happen. It was just it kind of set up for me, where they took their music from there, leading into their first album.
I thought it was a good documentary.
That's about it, though.
It's VH1 behind the music.
Oh, come on.
So I want to ask Totoro if he could place himself movie chronologically. Say, oh, I know where I was when they did this concert. I know where I was when this controversy with Ticketmaster came up, because this stuff to me might as well have happened in another dimension.
Oh, how do you mean, like where I was,
And
what I was doing in my life, or?
Yeah, like I assume you were you're a longtime fan of Pearl Jam, and
You're like,
you're
oh,
following.
I was 15 years old when they did this.
Well, okay, so
Or
the
something.
first album, when the first album came out, I wasn't that old, but it's something
I like
that
how David Lynch randomly appeared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
was
What was the
They mentioned him
quote
sort
there?
of
It's like,
twice.
Yeah, and then they had the midget, but he had a mustache.
but yeah, I mean, so I wasn't that old when the first album came out, but that was like one of the first things that really turned me on to I don't want to call it pop music, but popular music, more so than, because I mean, when I grew up and or when I was growing up, my parents played a lot of music from the 70s, because that's kind of when they were I don't want to say that's when they were young, but that's when they were they had money, they could spend money on like albums, and they could go to concerts and stuff. And so I, up until that point, I was like deeply entrenched into the music of my parents, and I'm sure this is just so riveting, but I mean, that's it's because of those bands from Seattle that led me to like actually starting my own garage band here in Indiana.
Cool.
So I mean, one of the the first song I ever learned was like, because I played bass. The first song I ever played was "Smells Like Teen Spirit," but I really felt like I had learned, how to play bass, a lot better when I learned how to play Jeremy. And that was like one of those songs that just had a kind of a profound effect on me.
Your
Oh, God.
That's not good?
Yeah. Now, you broke up a little bit on my end, but
Yeah, you did.
No, sorry.
but no, it's I just felt like there was a lot of good music in there, and it was just kind of very fulfilling to me to see, where they came from, what they were going through, when they were making some of these songs.
It
and
seemed to me like when they started, it was just a bunch of music about some guy with daddy issues. That's what it seemed like.
You mean at the time or even now?
I mean, obviously their music changed as they went along, but at the time and even now looking back at it, I would say the same.
It may seem that way to you because they focused a lot on. His name's Ed, right? The lead singer. They focused initially when they introduced
Eddie
him. They
Vedder.
focused a lot on him and how his father and stuff like that. So I doubt every single song in the albums were about his dad. Possibly, but I don't think so. At least all the songs they showed in the beginning seemed to be like that.
It seemed that way.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of things going on with that, but
And then it seemed
I don't
like
feel-
they had instant success once he came on. At least that's the way
Well,
the
and-
documentary made it seem. I don't know if that's true.
well, it was it was very fast and was very furious as far as their success.
Was it Too Fast, Too
Um,
Furious?
It probably was, but no, I mean it was. I don't want to say it was instant success, but it was pretty damn quick.
Right? They mentioned that he was kind of uncomfortable with it, the lead singer, because he never wanted like quick success.
Yeah, they
Yeah, they
said
wanted
that he just wanted to be a small band driving around in a van.
Well, and that he wanted to be a band that would go around, they would pay their dues,
Exactly.
and start with small clubs, move into slightly bigger clubs, and then play small halls and everything. But then it was like they were, they went from playing these clubs to playing these big outdoor festivals with 20,000, not 20,000, like 60,000 plus people.
Yeah, and then they got on MTV like right away with their Unplugged.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that was super quick. Do you think that was they became popular so fast because of Nirvana?
Well, and that's one thing they talk about a little bit is because they like 10 came out before Nevermind did.
But what became popular first?
I am not. It may have been Nevermind, but I'm not gonna.
Because it was really
get
like
into that.
Smells Like Teen Spirit that really pushed Nirvana over, right?
I saw I
Yeah.
saw Smells Like Teen Spirit on MTV before I saw anything from 10.
Well, and they didn't really do any. They didn't really do any videos. The first one was Even Flow, and that was just a concert that they did. And he actually talks about that. When they talk about, going from, doing like Even Flow into doing Jeremy, that originally all they ever really wanted to do was live.
Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of ironic that they started off with wanted to do like live recordings as videos or stuff like that, because both Jeremy and Do the Evolution are two like super striking like music videos that I knew about even though I didn't know about the band when I was a little kid.
Right.
Well, Do the Evolution's quite a bit newer as well.
Wait, to be clear,
By
I may be
comparison.
crazy. Do the Evolution is the one with the animated video, right?
It's been a while.
I'm almost 100% positive that it's the one with the animated video that has like
Okay.
crazy apocalyptic imagery.
But yeah, I mean, one Jeremy had, I mean, you want to, when I think back to that, probably my favorite video of all time is Jeremy. So I feel like it's more iconic when you compare it to Smells Like Teen Spirit. And I really hate like sitting here trying to compare the two.
So you think
Because
it's a
I feel
better
like they're
video
so
than
different.
Thriller?
For me personally, it is. I put Thriller at number 2.
It's
But
Thriller.
Jeremy just kind of for me one of the big differences is that I really felt like I was impacted more by like Pearl Jam and Jeremy and Even Flow and Alive and all these songs.
No, I'm not saying Thriller is a better song.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Even the striking imagery that is used in that video is a lot more a lot more effective, at least from where I was coming from, than essentially mocking high school.
There was the one part of the documentary when they were doing that concert for that movie that they didn't want to be doing. I kind of like that part.
Singles.
Yeah.
Playing State of Love and Trust there, and it's like, yeah, that was kind of cool, and that was kind of interesting that they did that, and that was that they included that.
And they got super drunk before they started playing,
and Eddie couldn't hear himself through the monitor, so he was trying to get him to turn it up, and goes over there and rips down the booth, and it was the lighting person. He's sitting there wondering, why is it getting brighter in here?
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
It was. And then at their 10th year anniversary, they did a song written by the original singer.
Well, yeah, Andy Wood was the lead singer of Mother Love Bone, and when they did the 10-year anniversary of Pearl Jam, he finally because I think Stone and Jeff were kind of like, I don't know if they kind of were giving their blessing, or if people had always asked, do they ever want to play any of Andy Wood's songs. But they did Crown of Thorns that night, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Dakazu, you've been pretty quiet. What did you think?
Well, I think this movie is really good for fans like Totoro, but for someone who knows nothing about Pearl Jam, it was a little difficult to follow, especially at the beginning. They don't really introduce the band members until the last half. Did you notice that? It documents the events of how the band came together, but they don't really talk about their lives or how they are and stuff like that until towards the end. And I was getting really confused because I don't know the band at all, and they're taking different interviews from different periods of their lives where their hairstyles are different, and I was like, who is this? Huh? I was very confused.
Yeah, Eddie looked really weird with short hair.
Yeah, Mrs. Totoro was going through some of that, especially even in the early ones where I think it was a segment of interviews where it was just Jeff Ament, who is the bass player, who he's always kind of easy to pick out in some of those early ones because he wore big hats a lot, and that was kind of an easy way to pick him out. But it was Jeff and Eddie, and Eddie had on a baseball cap on backwards, and my wife was sitting there watching that, and she's like, who in the hell is that? I don't recognize that person at all. And I was like, well, that's Eddie Vedder. And she's like, that doesn't look like him. And I was like, that was kind of a hint for me that I was like, oh, maybe it's just that
younger him looks a lot different than older him.
Yeah, well, and he sounds a lot different too. I mean, his voice has gotten a little bit more gravelly, I feel like, as he's gotten a little bit older.
Right, but in general, I do agree that the documentary is kind of geared for fans, especially in the beginning. But later on, it does get some of the drama between Ticketmaster, some of the rivalry between them and Nirvana is kind of spelled out slightly. That stuff is entertaining, even though I wasn't a fan.
Well, it wasn't really a rivalry towards the end because they showed Kurt, and he was talking about how they talked and how he liked them.
Yeah, but there was a point where there was some negative words exchanged. Sorry, Totoro.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, that was. I think it was between Eddie and Kurt more than anything, because even in the interviews where they're talking to Kurt, it was they're also talking to Chris Novoselic there, and he's like, I think he said something like, well, you did say you liked their band, and it was like, okay, so I kind of got the feeling that it was more, Kurt was trying to be standoffish or whatever,
well, he was said that their music was too popping into mainstream.
To be real
Well, and that's
alternative.
Yeah, well, and that was that they also talked about, Eddie feeling that way about some of the mixes being too mainstream.
Yeah, and he said that comment from him really changed the way they made the music and going forward.
Well, and I don't know how big of fans you guys are, but on if at all, but on their greatest hits album, Rearview Mirror, they actually remixed a few of those songs off of the first album, and they definitely have a more raw and edgier sound to them.
Kind of like your mic.
Sure.
Yeah. Did that bring any kind of negative reaction, like going back and rewriting their old stuff, or people were like, whatever, that's cool?
I can only speak for myself. It was it was kind of interesting for me to kind of I felt like they made choices, obviously a certain way when they originally did the songs. It was kind of neat for me to see, what choices they made, 10 years after the fact or 15 years after the fact.
Mhm.
I can't remember exactly when that came out, but it was as far as like, the levels and, because they're actually just it's some of them sound almost completely different. There are things that you can't hear as well in the original mix that are a lot more prevalent in the remix, and so it's I can't at this point I don't really feel like one is a definitive mix over the other.
So, Bob, I know you haven't seen this, but what do you think of this conversation so far?
I think Totoro hates Nirvana, and he's on my list now.
No, I don't hate Nirvana. It's just no. That's
I'm just picking a
no.
fight. Relax it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Super fanboy.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, I'm not. No, I don't feel like I'm a super fanboy either. I mean, for me, if I was going to pick one of the Seattle bands as my absolute favorite, I would definitely kind of hands down pick Alice in Chains, because I feel like I love their sound a lot more. But no, I mean, I think that all of those bands did really good music. It just, for me, it just so happens that that Pearl Jam has been, more consistent over the past 20 years than Soundgarden or Alice in Chains either.
I think Nirvana has a good out on that, though.
Well, yeah, it was a shotgun. That was the out.
That's a hard out.
Very hard out.
Poor fella.
But
Right.
I think I like for some reason I think I like the newer Pearl Jam stuff more than the older stuff.
Yeah, for me, it was kind of, I really liked 10. I really liked Versus. Once they started to get more towards Vitology and like No Code and Yield, they lost me a little bit more. But this last album they put out, Backspacer, I don't know that there's a single track on that album I don't love.
I like the covers that I've heard too.
Anyone in particular? Or?
The Who cover, Rain Over Me. Is that right?
I know they
Rain
did
on Me?
Rain Over Me, Rain Over Me.
Okay, yeah, that one.
And I know that I've heard them do The Real Me, like in concert. That's the other thing that I always really liked about them, is that they release their own kind of official bootlegs of their concerts. I think that's pretty cool. So you can actually, if you go to a show, you can get the bootleg, online of the, or before they were doing them online, go to, your local record store and get a copy of the concert that you went to.
Right.
So, but yeah, they did. Yeah, they do. They do a lot of really cool, especially Who covers. Well, they had that one where they were in the movie where they did Baba O'Reilly.
Yep, that was pretty good. Eddie
So-
really likes the Who, it seems.
Yeah, he's a big fan. Well, that was kind of one of the things they talked about a little bit. How each of them has their own, major influence.
Yeah, and he said Robert Daltrey wanted to do something with them, and he's turned him down and said no.
Yeah,
because
he didn't want to. Probably didn't want.
Didn't want to nerd out.
Yeah, or disappoint him, or whatever.
Yep.
Or have him be a prick.
You're whispering.
Sorry, Mrs. Totoro walked in and I thought I was off. Turned my mic off for a second.
Secrets.
More secrets.
So should we wrap up? Do you think?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I could probably sit here and talk about it for an hour, and I'm sorry. This is probably not very good radio or podcast.
I think it was a good pick, though.
On.
I don't think you should be turned off for not picking things like this.
Yeah, I was really hoping that it was going to spark more conversation about music, and specifically music for that era, because that it was so instrumental for me in my kind of bringing up or coming up in my development as a person.
I have a question for you, Totoro, because that's when I think of music. It's the 90s. It's what I identify with most. Is there anything that's new that you listen to?
Yes. I really dig the Black Keys now. I dig Franz Ferdinand when they come out with new stuff.
How about Jack White?
A little bit, not a ton. I don't think I've never listened to anything of theirs and felt like I was compelled to buy the album.
You are wrong.
Well, I'm just staying.
Fell in love with a girl.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just it's not to that same. I don't know. I think maybe my taste in new music has changed a little bit.
I think Jack White is pretty good.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not disagreeing.
I will fight you.
You think?
Okay.
Think he's pretty? He got that white skin.
Not like his music. I think he's very talented.
Did you watch the? Now we're talking about Jack White or the White Stripes.
Jack White.
Just Jack White.
He has like 1,000 bands.
Well, yeah, he has. Well, he had the White Stripes and then the Raconteurs.
And there was another one, I think, and now he has a solo album.
Did you ever watch It Might Get Loud?
I've seen bits and pieces.
That was really cool because that had The Edge and Jimmy Page in it, and it was just coming from being a musician a little bit, kind of very poorly being a musician, and kind of seeing three masters kind of talk about it was really cool.
Yeah, I saw one where Jimmy Page was talking about how he came up with one of the songs, and then he started playing it, and then they all just started going into it. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he started. I think it was A Whole Lot of Love.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And you just see like Edge and Jack White kind of light up, and then they all kind of gather around. That was pretty cool. So I'm kind of sorry I've droned on and on and on and on about it.
Well, we could ask Star Fox about Jackie Chan, and then he'd be finished 3 days from now.
Do you know what Jackie Chan's birth name is?
Jack.
Star Fox.
What the fuck have you done?
Star Fox 8? Is that the name?
Yes, all along. I'm Jackie Chan.
What is his birth name?
I told you. You say it.
I don't remember.
It's Kong Sang Chan. It means born in Hong Kong Chan. I'll stop it there. I could keep on going.
Born in Hong Kong Chan.
Yep.
That is a very strange name.
It's poetic.
So, and descriptive. Do we have next week's Moviebox pick?
I do.
Hopefully it sparks a better discussion than this one. I'm so sorry about it.
It's not.
It's Kenzo's pick, right?
What's going on?
Remember yesterday, X, when we were talking to Kenzo, and we're like, hey, you have a Moviebox pick? And he mentioned a movie. Remember how we thought he was joking? He wasn't joking.
What is it?
The movie is called Dude, Where's the Party?
What?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, Dude, Where's My Car?
I would have been on board with that.
I'm on board with Dude, Where's My Car? Let's retcon it. Our first Moviebox retcon.
It is a Cal Penn movie, and Kenzo said, I love this movie. And I had to double check 3 times to make sure he wasn't trolling me. He's 1,000% serious that this is his Moviebox picks. It's called Dude, Where's the Party starring Cal Penn.
I'm
Where can we find it?
pretty sure he's trolling us.
Is it Netflix instant streaming?
It is not.
We can't do it then.
No, we've done others that were not Netflix into streaming. I prefer if they weren't, but whatever. I will rent this movie and I will get it and I will watch it.
What if it's amazing?
Then I will be pleasantly surprised.
The best guess Netflix is giving me for this movie is 2.2 stars, but the average is 2.8 stars.
How many? What we're talking about Netflix ratings. How many ratings have you done on Netflix?
I don't know. Is there? I don't. Is there? Does it tell you?
I think it tells up, and I think it tells in
Taste profile.
like, the upper hand corner or something.
I've done 108.
422.
I think I'm over 2,500.
I've only had Netflix for a couple months though, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say I've had it for about 5 years now. And a lot of those movies I saw before I was on Netflix.
Can we pretend that Kenzo said he wanted us to watch Ghost?
We cannot. So next week's movie box pick is Dude, Where's the Party? We'll post it in the forums.
That's not the. I don't think that's the full name of the movie.
Dakazu, you sound so depressed.
It's Where's
And you sound
the
like a
Party?
robot.
The name of the movie is Where's the Party Yar?
Whatever, we'll figure it out. I think we should.
Wait, is this an English language movie or is it Indian?
If you go down to details, it says also known as Dude, Where's the Party? So I guess the release date in India it was called Where's the Party You Are.
Yeah, it was released in 2004 in India. It says.
Wait, is this a Bollywood movie? Because that could actually be kind of.
It might be.
No, you want.
It could
Possible.
possibly
We'll
be
figure
a
it
little
out.
better than what I'm thinking it will be.
You think it's like some sort of stoner comedy?
What, like Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle?
Sort of. I'm looking at the.
Hey, those movies are not bad.
No, I'm not dogging them at all. I love the first one.
Why do you hate
Every time
everything I love?
Because he loves you.
I was about to say he has taste, but that was kind of mean.
Oh.
Oh shit, I said that out loud.
I have taste.
So
I have good taste.
What is Dakazu taken that has left him without an interior monologue?
I'm gonna wrap up. I want to thank BobLoblaw and Darkbox8 and special guest Tummel for joining us this week. If you enjoyed this podcast, please donate to the official Geekbox Mumble server where we record it and we hang out and we talk. You should play Draw Something with us. Look for the thread in the Geekbox forums. And if you want to be on the podcast, send us a message through the Geekbox forums and a private message to either Mr. X, Totoro, or me, Dakazu, at forums.geekbox.net. Don't forget to listen to the other Geekbox podcasts, including the Geekbox, Comic Conspiracy, the Comedy Button, and Good Job Brain as well. And I think that will do it. I love you.
I love you too.